Stay connected. Make sure you hit the subscribe button.
And looking at the time, I have it as 6:03 p.m. on Thursday, June 3rd of 2021. This is a special meeting for the City of Cortland Common Council. Mayor Brian Tobin presiding. And in order to start the meeting, ask everybody, please rise if you're able. I'm going to mute everybody. And we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Council, you can unmute. And our first agenda item, consideration of resolution to be a co-host and to approve a special event and all required applications for Juneteenth on Saturday, June 19, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Courthouse Park. And the actual event, we're looking at 6 or 6:30 in terms of the start time. Tim Thompson, was it a 6 p.m. start time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Wonderful. All right. Can we have a motion to consider? Jackie Chapman, second. Bill Carpenter. Discussion. Council, with your approval, I'd like to recognize Tim Thompson, one of the potential organizers, and he could talk a little bit about it. Any concerns? No? Tim, can you give us a little background on what is planned and what you'd like to do, who you're working with, and all of that?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I understand that today's meeting is a special request, so I promise to be brief. Again, my name is Tim Thompson. I serve as the Coordinator of Diversity and Education at Tompkins Cortland Community College. I'm also the co-chair of the group C4, which is short for Cortland County's Community of Color. C4 is a collaborative initiative between Tompkins Cortland Community College and SUNY Cortland to support and retain professionals of color in Cortland County. And we're excited for the opportunity to host Cortland's first Juneteenth. So for those who may not know, Juneteenth is an African-American holiday celebrating the ending of slavery in the United States. So we would like to host the celebration on June 19th in Courthouse Park from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The event will be co-sponsored by Tompkins Cortland Community College, SUNY Cortland, and hopefully by the end of the meeting, the City of Cortland. Additionally, our official entertainment sponsor is Cortland's own Funflix, which will be providing audio and electricity for the celebration. Food samples would be provided by Cortland's The Squeeze Juice Bar and Cultivari, which is a TC3-owned restaurant. Both vendors have current health permits. As it relates to COVID protocols, we'll stay consistent with New York State's and our county's recommendations. And so with that, are there any questions?
Very good. Thank you, Tim. Council, questions? Looking for a hand. Not seeing a hand. If I'm missing anybody. Tom, did you have a question?
Tim, I just want to point out that Cortland County was very supportive during the slavery movement, assisting those that were seeking asylum years ago. And there were several underground groups that were participants, and I hope you recognize some of these groups during your event.
Yeah, there was a college at McGraw at one time that you're probably aware of, Tim. And basically, it sort of got wiped out. I think there was a smallpox or something that came through, if I recall correctly, and that sort of, that was the end of it. But it was a very progressive college in McGraw for African Americans. I'm thinking maybe 1840s, 1850s. I'm not for sure on that date. Jackie, I see you're shaking your head. Am I on the ballpark on that?
Yes, there was. And there's actually, I believe, a sign where the location of the college was. On one of the streets in McGraw. One of the historical signs.
Yes. Yes.
So,
I believe it was located where the high school is.
Right.
oh, okay.
Yes, it is.
In with Underground Railroad because there was a whole organization in Cortland County that was linked with the Underground Railroad, which was
That's correct. It was some routes along the Taffneoga, which included the city of Cortland back at that time, McGraw, Cincinnati, as well as Blodgett Mills. Just to bring some history back.
Standing.
Hathaway House, right? The Hathaway House had a underground railroad there.
Yes, that's
Yep.
correct.
and
Some
there
of
was
the houses right in McGraw down by the high school had underground tunnels right to the river so people could escape.
and there was another home that is right in line with Petersboro, straight north. And the history of the house, it was built in the 1840s. And the Anti-Slavery Society of Cortland, the man who built that house, I can't tell you the name, but he was a member of the anti-slavery organization in Cortland County. And that house has been written about in 2 different books, and where the hiding place was, where the Underground Railroad hiding place was. And the last generation of people who owned it, one woman is still alive in Cortland, in Cincinnati, and it was her grandfather and father who, when they changed the home, they found under the bedroom wasn't added on, they found a big carved out dirt cellar.
Mhm.
But the house burned down about 10 years ago. And
They had a big one in Homer, New York, too. I don't know if you remember the Salisbury Pratt homestead. Yeah, that was a very, very large one in the 1830s. So,
but because that route from Binghamton up the river straight to Petersboro, where, if anybody can help me with his name, who was very, very, very big in the Underground Railroad.
Right.
To hear.
And I just want to, I don't have a question, but I just want to thank you for getting this rolling and getting it to start. And hopefully it will become the first annual of, ongoing forever. And I just, if you need any extra volunteers for any purpose, just to be standing or any purpose, I'd like to volunteer to just be helping out with Juneteenth. So if you need any extra bodies, you can call on me.
Very good. Thank you for volunteering, Jackie. Were there any questions for Tim regarding what's going to be going on?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a sort of a brief kind of synopsis of the activities. If you guys have that together, maybe it's still in the planning stage, that's fine.
So thank you for that. So we're looking to start the event off with music, and so we're hoping to allow for folks to gather and converse and get to know one another, build community for the first half an hour of the event. So the event starts at 6:30. So we want to use that half-hour window for folks to engage. Starting at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a series of speakers. And so we'll have our MC give an introduction or a little bit of background to Juneteenth. And I'm going to go do some homework and some additional research on the Underground Railroad and the significance of Juneteenth as it relates to Cortland County.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. And so, and and I would like to speak with a few folks after, if time permits, just to get to learn where I could find some of the information. When I first researched the college in McGraw, the source was through Wikipedia, and so I was curious to know if there was some other outlets where I could, or sources where I could learn a little bit more about that other than Wikipedia. But moving forward into the series of speakers, we're going to have an introduction to C4. So C4 is going to introduce itself as the group that's behind building community of color in Cortland County. So there'll be an introduction, and we're still looking to get a few speakers to just share the significance of Juneteenth. To share their significance to Juneteenth. And once our speakers are finished, we'll have a keynote address from Dr. Orinthia Montague of Tompkins Cortland Community College.
Outstanding.
Tim, I would reach out to our historical society. And there's certainly a wealth of information, and I'm sure they'll be able to answer all of your questions regarding the actual buildings that had popped up through the years with the underground tunnels.
And the name that comes to mind, I believe Diane Ames. She was doing some work on the McGraw. And I remember a number of years ago, she had an article, I'm pretty sure, I believe her name is Diane Ames, but I can check on that, about the college in the Cortland Standard, but this was probably in 2002 to 2010 timeframe. Does anyone know Diane? I believe her name is Diane Ames.
Yeah.
She is.
Rick Van Donzo can tell you as much.
Yeah, she lives on West Court Street. Her daughter Johanna Ames owns Ames Linen on Huntington Street, and she's easy to get a hold of. The Historical Society knows everything about this. I think they've even done articles and Facebook posts about the Underground Railroad and such forth.
They have. You're absolutely correct, Rick.
There's a cemetery for some of the college students that died from the plague down near the elementary school. So in between the high school and the elementary. And several years ago, a group from McGraw High School went down there and did a lot of work on the cemetery to revitalize a little bit of it. So even McGraw High School, maybe one of the history teachers would be a good source.
Was it the Cockless family, Paul, that were involved with that way back when?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Part of the railroad.
Yes.
Yeah. And Tim, you can also look in the state education department on Salisbury Pratt Homestead, because it's considered now a historic site. So you should be able to get that information from there too. It was used during the Civil War as well.
And looking at the event, 6 p.m. start, and then the formal portion of the event at about 6:30. Sounds like speakers, educational opportunity, and it didn't say anything about an entrance fee. Tim, is it free to the public or is there a cost?
Free to the public.
Outstanding.
I just have a quick question for Tim, only because I remember Juneteenth from Texas. June 19th, 1865, that's when the Union officer told African Americans in Texas they were free. And that's where the Juneteenth comes from. I just remember that being a real celebratory kind of event. Are we looking to folks, a lot of folks right now in Cortland aren't even aware of our history that we just spoke to you in 5 minutes. So it's good that, we sort of refresh people's minds about how progressive this area can be and was at one time. Are we still, and so they're not really going to know, I don't think, what is Juneteenth? How is it a solemn occasion? Is it a joyous, celebration? how do you see this celebration sort of playing out, like it did in the ones I experienced in Texas, or more of a solemn kind of thing? I'm glad we're having speakers and the history and that's fantastic, but I'm just asking.
I think you raise a very interesting point. And when we take into consideration that this is the first Juneteenth in Cortland, it'll be more educational than celebratory. And that's why we're starting off with speakers.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So at the beginning portion, we'll have a space for folks to gather, but it's going to start off with speakers. As we continue to grow, we're hoping that this will grow into something that's more annual, and then we can transition into an educational festival. But that's down the road.
Okay.
Thank you. That's an excellent question.
Okay. I look forward to this event. I don't have any other questions, Mayor.
Very good. If there's no further questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Very good. And that's with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 present. So 6-0. Consideration of resolution for a sound device permit for the event. Motion to consider. John Bennett, second. Bill Carpenter. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And then the follow-up to that, consideration of a resolution to waive the fee for the sound device permit. Motion to consider. Bill Carpenter, second. Bruce Teitler. Discussion.
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And Tim, there was a request in terms of hosting, and I believe that this is already been discussed with the administration at SUNY Cortland and at Tompkins Cortland Community College, correct?
Yes. So it was discussed with the administration. Both presidents, so Dr. Bitterbaum and Dr. Montague, will be present and participating in the event.
And
Very good.
I believe Dr. Montague had asked if the city had an interest in terms of being a co-host as well.
Yes.
So a question for council, interest in terms of being co-host?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then events in terms of safety or liability, can we have a motion to consider a resolution for the city to cover the cost of insurance for the events?
Sure.
Motion.
Yeah.
Bill
Yeah.
Carpenter, second. Bruce Teitler. Discussion.
Was that Carpenter Tyler?
Correct. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
I
think you're all set.
only have one thing to add, Mayor. If Tim, is there any way anybody can contact you prior to this event for assistance and volunteering?
Sure, I will. If it's okay with the group, I can put my email in the chat box. Does that work for everyone?
Sure. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Tim, do you have the logistics worked out as far as, do you need a stage? Do you need amplified equipment, or have you got that all secured?
So the stage component, we haven't confirmed the stage, so we may need a stage. We don't have logistics completely figured out yet. And so if that's something that you can assist, I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, send me your email and I'll be in touch.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. I'm having a difficult time finding the are we allowed? Oh, there we go. Okay, I found the chat. There we go.
And
I'm only able to chat with Brian.
go ahead,
so
send it to me and I'll share it to everybody.
you got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes try to regulate the chat so that there's not other things going on during the council meetings.
Oh no, understood.
Rick Donsel.
Yeah, a bureaucratic point. I will contact Paul Nesky about the insurance tomorrow.
Thank you.
No sweat. It'll be easy.
Thanks for coming off a vacation for this meeting.
I'm not wearing pants.
Oh, God. This is not going official record. Take that out of the minutes.
Don't stand up. Whatever you do.
I'll make sure it's edited.
I thought there was one other, I thought I had another comment on this, and I am drawing a blank on what it was. Oh, the stage. So point of information for council, I've had a couple exchanges with John McNerney. The stage was built, I believe it was by BOCES in 2019, and it served very well for 2 years. Some of those boards on top are getting mushy, I think is the best way to put it. And we are having conversations about, all right, what do we do? And leaving it as is not an option. So it's either going to take maybe some TLC or maybe something a little bit more or something different. But obviously we'll have at least a little bit of a timeline here to try to make a decision before the 19th if the stage is still viable, and make sure that we're keeping it safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has served its purpose for the last couple of years, and in lieu of a permanent stage or a bigger or better temporary stage, that's what we have right now. So we'll have more conversations about it.
Maybe that could be a way we spend some of the $1 million that we got coming to us.
Well, up for council, I'll throw some things out there at you for the June 15th council meeting, and there's some other things, and we can take it from there.
Sounds good.
All right. We don't want our presidents of our colleges breaking legs on our stage, Mayor.
No, that would not be good.
Or professors.
I'll try to get the stage that we use for the 9/11 memorial ceremony. It's all metal. There's, I think, 4 pieces that they kind of interlock together, and they've got a set of stairs. So,
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
That's worked out well. That's been a very useful and functional stage. That's great to hear. All right, there was, and I apologize for the short notice on this, consideration of a resolution for a sound device permit, and this is for the United Presbyterian Church, and the date is this Saturday, June 6th. The event is 2 to 5 p.m., but the actual singing will be 3 to 4:30 p.m., and it is for amplifier and speakers. It's in praise of diversity, folk music for a cautious reopening.
Where's that event, Mayor? I didn't catch that.
UPC, the church on the corner of Church Street and Central.
Oh, okay.
And when did you say it was for? Saturday or Sunday?
This Saturday.
Saturday.
June 6th? Isn't that Sunday?
3rd. What's today?
it'd be June 5th this Saturday.
Today's the
All right.
3rd.
Correct. It is Sunday. You are correct. I didn't do well in math. I was trying to listen to this. So that would be Sunday, correct?
From 3 to 4:30?
Correct.
Okay.
Motion to consider. Jackie Chapman, second. Troy Beckwith. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And then consideration of a resolution to waive the fee for amplified sound device. Motion to consider. Bill Carpenter, second. Tom Michaels, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right. Hey, I appreciate the time from everybody on council that's able to attend. I know we had a couple who were unable to. Tim, thank you for sharing. I see your information there in the chat. And looking, TCT 009 at tompkinscortland.edu. So anybody at home, if you're looking, TCT 009 at tompkinscortland.edu, or just get a hold of my office. I'd be more than happy to coordinate and help. Looking forward to this. And similar to what the veterans of foreign wars did on Monday, I had a chance to see a couple of council members down there. But it was a very nice event out in front of the VFW on Monday, recognizing Memorial Day and people lost. And our holidays are special, and being able to remind people, hey, this is why it's a holiday, and the historic and cultural significance of these things, I think, is absolutely important. And the Dairy Day Parade, it was nice seeing some people out there on Tuesday. Cortland, it's getting back to normal. Normalcy, maybe. But I really do appreciate Tim pass this along to C4, the other members, and I'm sure I'll have the chance to say so myself, but we appreciate the efforts. Similar to the other events, you know, it's volunteers coming forward, doing some things that really help give the community life and vibrancy. And we're going to see events, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and appreciative. This is a perfect way to recognize, honor, celebrate the first celebration of Juneteenth in New York State as an official state holiday. Okay. And is there anything else to come before the council? Hearing none, I can entertain a motion to adjourn. John Bennett, second Bruce Teitler. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Stay connected. Make sure you hit the subscribe button.